Which is better, the boosted board or the Onewheel? Short answer, it's the Onewheel. But if you remember from when we were in school, it's not really enough to just have the answer. You sort of need to show how you got to the answer. So let me show you what I mean. So, just a little bit of history. Last Christmas, my amazing wife gifted me my very first Onewheel, specifically the Onewheel Pint. I'd been talking about wanting one for months, and so she shelled out the $1,050 USD and surprised me with it on Christmas Eve. Fast forward to the spring, and I stumbled across a boosted board Stealth on Facebook Marketplace. Now, this particular board originally cost $1,600 USD when it was new, but the company Boosted went out of business back in 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic, so you can only buy these boards now secondhand. And like I said, I found mine on Facebook Marketplace, and I paid $700 USD for it. Just a quick statistics comparison, the Onewheel Pint tops out at 16 miles an hour with a range of 6 to 8 miles per charge, while the boosted Stealth can reach up to 24 miles per hour, but only has a range of 5 to 7 miles per charge. The Onewheel weighs 23 pounds, while the boosted board weighs 17 pounds. And then lastly, the Onewheel Pint is centered around this 10.5-inch go-kart style tire, while the boosted board is riding on their proprietary 85mm boosted Stratus wheels. Now, this brings me to my first major complaint. I commute every day on either the Onewheel or the boosted board. It's a fairly short commute, 0.3 miles to be exact. It's entirely pavement, but there's actually two different routes that you can take. The boosted board has problems with both routes. The first option, I have to cross train tracks, which the boosted wheels can't do. So I have to stop, pick the board up, carry it over, then set it back down, and continue on. Then I have to cross through two separate parking lots, neither of which are conducive for skateboard wheels. Between the loose gravel, huge potholes, and sharp turns, you either risk falling off and getting hurt, or you slow way down and end up having to carry your board most of the way because you can't make any of the turns or avoid any of the rough transitions. The second option is significantly easier because it's just surface streets through downtown. There's a couple of potholes that you have to watch out for, but beyond that, it's pretty smooth riding up until the last 100 feet. You come up to the train tracks again, but this time there's no traffic crossover. So the road just leads up and eventually it turns to gravel. Then you, again, have to pick your skateboard up and carry it over the train tracks and continue on that way. Now, granted, you still have to do this with the Onewheel, but you can ride a lot closer up to the train tracks because this thing can go on gravel. Which brings me to the Onewheel. It can handle both commutes with relative ease. The train tracks, the parking lots, the loose gravel, the potholes, this inflated go-kart tire can handle all of it. It is, however, about to roll off of the disc. There you go. Problem solved. A little bit of confidence goes a long way with the Onewheel. I've never really had a bad crash on it, whereas I've had two pretty significant crashes on the boosted board, both of which were because of the wheels. Now, one thing I will say is that the boosted board is inherently easier to ride. If you know how to ride a skateboard, which most people do, you can ride a boosted board. In fact, I think that's why most people probably gravitate towards an electric skateboard over the Onewheel. The Onewheel is a little on the intimidating side, but if you have 30 minutes, you can learn and get out riding super quick. I equate the Onewheel as to being very similar to riding like a snowboard. It can turn on a dime, the leaning is very similar, and as with anything, the more you do it, the better you'll get and the more fun you'll have. Just to touch on a few limitations of these two boards, and to be honest, I have been pretty hard on the boosted board up to this point, so we'll start with the Onewheel. First off is the speed. I wish it was a little faster, but in all fairness, this is the Onewheel Pint. It is the most beginner version of Onewheels that you can purchase. I could easily upgrade to the Onewheel GT or the Onewheel GTS, and I could get more speed and I could get more distance. So this particular limitation could be easily rectified. Another problem I have is the tire. I don't like the stock tire that comes with the Onewheel Pint. It's a road tire, but it has absolutely zero tread. So it ends up being extremely slick in wet conditions, or if you're off-road, or if you go up a really steep grade. Now there are tons of aftermarket tire options that I could put on this particular Onewheel, but I just wish that they would ship the Pints with a more grippy tire. Now for the boosted board, its only real limitation is the wheels. And if you are anywhere near the 24-mile-an-hour top speed, I mean, that's like road rash, broken collarbone, probably gonna have to call you an ambulance fast. So just to wrap this up, I'm a firm believer that the Onewheel is a superior electric short commute vehicle. Now, the boosted board is arguably more fun because it is faster, but that also means that it is objectively more dangerous. The faster you're going, the less time you have to identify a threat and react to avoid it. The Onewheel is just simply a more versatile and durable vehicle. It can roll over just about anything, including rocks and snow and sand and water. It's extremely robust. It can take a beating and just get up and keep rolling. It's a tank. That's what it is. It's a tank. But this is just my take. I want to know, what do you think? Do you own a boosted board or a Onewheel? What do you think? Do you have a preference between the two of them? Let me know down in the comments. I love when you guys comment on these videos because it gives me an opportunity to talk and interact with you. So if you enjoyed this video, please do that. Maybe like it, comment, all those sort of fun things. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.